So what is going on, everybody? Everybody hear me all right? Just want to make sure all of the mechanics, all the technology is working concurrently. How's everybody doing tonight? I see Jules, you got command of the live chat, my friend. Thank you very much. There we go. Okay, starting to see everybody popping through. So we got about another minute here, guys, before we get rolling. And first thing, I've got some music on this particular live stream. Can you guys hear music in there as well? Just give me a thumbs up if you can. Very cool. Hopefully it makes your commute to work just a little bit better. Cody D, looks like he's at work right now. Working the night shift, Cody? Or I guess depends on where you're at. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, sounds like the music's just a little faint, which that's the way I want it. I want it just kind of faint in the background. But all right, well, without further ado, guys, how is everybody doing tonight? All of you fellow navigators out there, it is so good to have you back for the second live stream. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I didn't necessarily realize that I was scheduling this live stream the same night, and hopefully this doesn't chase all of you away, but that I was scheduling this live stream for the same night that Logan Paul is opening up that first edition base set booster box. So yeah, so hopefully it doesn't run all of you off, but guys, I'm so happy to have you here. As you know, for this week's topic, we are going to be going over basically the state of the Pokemon TCG, and really I want to get all of your opinions on, you know, what you think the current state of the Pokemon TCG is, where you think we're headed. That's going to be kind of our overall topic, but beyond that, I'm going to be answering questions as well. And looks like we're getting about 43 people in the chat already, so that is awesome. And again, thank you everyone that is joining in. Looks like, yeah, we got a couple people on the night shift. At some point in my past, I actually worked the night shift as well. I was an analyst for a utility company, actually, way back in the day. And I actually worked, it was sort of partially the night shift, worked until about midnight. So kudos to any of you out there working the night shift. So let's, without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So first thing that I want to do here is basically just jump into a couple big pieces of news that we've seen in the last couple weeks. Obviously, that first one being, you know, Logan Paul kind of breaking into the hobby, you know, buying that $200,000 base set booster box and really just kind of blowing the market wide open. So really what I want to do is kind of get all of your opinions on this, and then I'll kind of give you my perspective on where I think this, you know, this particular thing is headed in the future. So let's see what we've got going on here in the live chat. Hey, anybody that missed the last live chat or live stream, it's all good, guys. You can always find that replay on my channel, so feel free to go back and watch that. Yeah, so Grandiosa86, as far as I know, it looks like he is opening that tonight. I don't know what time. Like I said, I didn't even know that it was actually occurring. So who knows? Who knows? But I guess it's supposed to happen sometime tonight. Let's see here. Did you buy a pack from Logan Paul? No, I did not. No, I did not. I don't know how much he's selling those for. I remember back when PokéNav opened his first edition booster box, I believe those packs were going for around, I think around 5,000 to 6,000 each. And obviously, you guys, when they're opening these booster boxes and they're doing these box breaks, they're going to be making a profit on it. So, if the box cost him, $200,000, you can do the calculations, but they're going to want to make a profit on each of those booster packs that they're selling. So, I imagine those packs are probably going for a lot of money, and that is not what I'm going to be putting it towards right now, at least for right now. Not to say that might not happen in the future, but at least for right now. Let's see what everybody's got to say. Cheska. Hey, Cheska, good to have you here. And by the way, Cheska, so I listened to the Shadowless podcast, and I don't know if any of the rest of you out there listen to the Shadowless podcast. Jordan Fringe, Real Breaking Nate. Cheska actually just put out the new song for the card pick of the week on there. So thumbs up to you, Cheska. That's pretty awesome. But she thinks it's going to inflate base series. I probably would have to agree with that. Anytime that you have celebrities entering the market, we saw it a little bit with Gary Vee, and now we got Logan Paul. And, whenever you're getting high profile characters like that, chances are it's going to take the prices up. Now, how far up and how many people are they going to bring in and how many people are actually going to stick around? I guess that is to be seen. Let's see what everybody else is saying. Oh, here we go. So people have the prices here. $11,111 for one pack. One pack, guys. Now, I know of quite a few booster boxes out there that you can get for 11 grand. So I don't know. At this time, I don't think I'd be spending that kind of money on a single booster pack. So let's see what everybody else is saying. Looks like Jessica's saying again, it will inflate base series, but I think sets like EX Ruby onwards will stay at the rate it's going. I would agree with that as well. I think that, for vintage especially a lot of the people that are coming over from Logan's channel, people that probably have been estranged from Pokemon for quite some time, chances are the first place that most people go is to vintage, because let's be honest, that's where most of the people that actually have the disposable income to buy these products, that's the generation that they grew up in. So that's where they're going to be headed. But really, I think a lot of sets after Wizards of the Coast, sets that most people aren't familiar with or that they were estranged from, most people probably started or stopped collecting around 2003 to 2005, and probably didn't pick it back up again until 2015, 2016, right around the time that Pokemon Go was coming out. So I would imagine that most people that are going to be entering the hobby are going to be shooting for those vintage sets, basically everything. I would say at least Wizards of the Coast, but maybe a little bit after that as well, maybe Diamond and Pearl era. But then after that, I think prices should stay relatively the same. But, the more people that are entering the market, when they find out, hey, I can't afford a lot of these vintage sets, they're going to be going for other sets that, that they can get their hands on for a decent price. And this may bode well, just in my opinion, I'm just kind of shooting off the top of my head here, but this may also bode well for a series like Evolutions. The more people that we have come into the hobby, when they start to see how crazy the prices are on base set, and they see, okay, well, what can I get? What's the next best option? Maybe they can't get first edition base set. Maybe they can't get Shadowless. They can't get Unlimited. They can't get Japanese. Well, what's the next best one after that? Well, you've got Evolutions. You've essentially got the same card, slightly different there. Gives you those same kind of nostalgic feels. So who knows? This may actually be a really good push for a set like Evolutions. Now let's see what everyone else is saying here. So PokéRev, Randolph Pokemon, Logan Paul, and Logan Paul's mother have packs. That's 4 of the 36 claimed. I should have figured PokéRev was going to jump in there and he was going to snag one. Looks like he didn't save any for himself from that first edition booster box that he had. Let's see. Oh, we got Ascent 206 says selling my first edition base booster box and base unlimited. Wow. The fact that you actually have that, my friend, is pretty impressive. Those are very hard to come by. And it looks like Ando Unlisted Leaf is buying a pack as well. And this kind of brings me to another point here, I guess. You see a lot of, some of the bigger creators, it sounds like, that are going in and buying some of these packs as well. Makes you kind of wonder, if they're doing it more from a notoriety standpoint, trying to get their name out there on a bigger platform, or if they're actually going into it to actually have a first edition base pack. You would think that of all the packs and booster boxes that they've opened over the years, they probably would have saved one for themselves. But hey, you never know. Hindsight's always 20/20. That goes for myself as well. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Looks like Jeremy Gray just bought 6 boxes of Evolutions. Should I buy more? Well, in my opinion, you can never have too many Evolutions. And it's, guys, it's one of those things where, with Evolutions, it's such a nostalgic set, and especially for me and maybe for many of you out there, that's really when I got back into the hobby and got into investing. That was around 2016, right around the time that Pokemon Go had come out. And so not only does it give me the nostalgia of, base set and being a kid, but every time that I crack open an Evolutions booster box, or just a pack for that matter, it takes me back to basically that renaissance, that reemergence of Pokemon back into the social dialogue. And so, for me, I can never get enough of Evolutions. But like I said, with a lot of these products becoming more and more scarce, and especially first edition base set, I mean, you guys are going to be hard pressed to find that out on the open market. At this point, it's probably just going to be the high-end auction houses that you're going to be able to find those products. And I'm not sure exactly where Logan got his particular booster box. If you guys know, go ahead and let me know in the chat. But I would imagine it was at some place like that. Probably had a connection to one of these high-end auction houses, or maybe to, some kind of resource out there that has more of these high-end products. But that's just my guess. Cody D says the music is not coming through unless I'm full volume, so I'm not gonna make my ears bleed. Well, let me help you guys out a little bit, because I do want at least a little bit of background music so that you guys aren't getting bored with me. So let me go ahead and turn it up just a little bit. So give me just a second. Try to turn this up just a little. Let me guys. All right, so I turned it up just a little bit there. Let me know how that is. Obviously, I don't want it to drown out my speaking, but I would like to have at least a little bit of background music there. And obviously, guys, this is a work in progress. I've said in the past that I'm not exactly the most technically inclined person, so this is all kind of a work in progress. All right, let's see what else we got going on here in the live chat. Oh, yes. So we're going to get to this. Tongan Wilson, we're going to get to that Hidden Fates reprint because I just saw this the other day, but we're definitely going to go ahead and get to that because that's a really interesting occurrence and one that I did not expect to happen. Let's see what we've got going on here. Yeah, everybody's talking about the reprint. Let's see, Jimmy Jam Meyer, do you think Jungle Unlimited is scarce or will I always be able to buy it? Well, especially Jungle and Fossil, those were printed in really high quantities back in the day. You know, a lot of people talk about that a lot of the modern and ultra modern sets are heavily printed, but Jungle and Fossil, guys, I'm telling you, those were put out in droves back in the day. I think at least Unlimited, obviously first edition, Fossil, Jungle, Team Rocket, going to be a lot more difficult to find. But from an Unlimited standpoint, I think that you will be able to find these for quite some time. It's just a matter at this point of what what you're willing to spend. And that'll be another thing we're going to get into here shortly. And maybe that's a good point to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and try to jump over here because this is something that I've been getting a lot of notifications on. For those of you who follow Pokemon Price, which is an analytics page that is put out by the E4 website, they have all of the analytics month by month for total sales and total sales volume for at least graded cards. So let me go ahead and jump on over there real quick so that we can take a look at this. So I just want to make sure. Okay. So hopefully everybody is able to see this. Let me just go ahead and jump back to the live stream real quick. All right, real quick here, just let me know if you guys can see this full screen here. Just go ahead and give me a thumbs up in the chat. Got Polish Rob in the house. Okay, I think you guys should be able to see this here. But essentially what we're looking at here is the total sales volume over time. And this is the analytics page, like I said, for E4. So if you guys just go to pokemonprice.com, you'll be able to find this. But what I've been getting a lot of here is this data right here. So let me zoom in just a little bit more so you guys can get a better idea of exactly how far this has changed. So as you'll see here, going back to really June, now we'll just go from right here. From June and July, let me zoom in. I want you guys to get a good look at this. Okay, so going back here to July. So essentially what this graph is depicting is you have total sales count and total sales value. So the blue line here is going to be your total sales count. So this is just showing you the number of sales recorded by Pokemon Price, and then it's also showing you how much the value of all of those sales have amounted to. And as you can see here, basically from July of this year to August, we saw a pretty steep decline in the amount of total sales for Pokemon cards going from July to August. And then same thing here, not so much in the value, which is really kind of what you want to see. You don't want to see a sharp decrease here in the value, but we did see that from July to August. So let me just bump back over here to the chat, make sure you guys are good. Okay. And it looks like you. Yeah, that's right, Jules. I'm coming on up in the world, man. Doing that screen sharing. All right, just want to make sure you guys are able to see this. But like I said, there's a pretty steep decline here in the total sales count. And this is my hypothesis on it. Obviously, we have to wait. I don't want everybody to freak out and think that, oh, here we go. This is the start of the crash. But if we go back right around the time that this would have been occurring and this total sales count is going down, we had, at least here in the United States, which I think, encompasses a pretty large portion of, total cards being bought out there on the secondary market. And I believe, Pokemon Price is taking that into consideration. But it's really started in July. Now, the value of the cards being sold did decrease slightly, but not that much. So realistically, what we're looking at here is just the amount of cards that are being sold out on the secondary market. Now, this is my theory on this. So right around the end of July, this is going more into an economic talk here, but around the end of July is the time that the stimulus package, so that $600 a week that many people were getting who were unemployed, it expired around that time. And also, we got those stimulus checks earlier on in the year, and many people were using that to, or at least were supposed to be using that, for food, for housing, all of those different things. So this is my take on it. I think that the sharp decrease that you're seeing in the total amount of product being sold out on the secondary market is due to the fact that we haven't had that second stimulus package that has gone out, to people for the pandemic. And in doing so, people don't have the same kind of income to spend on these products. So let me go ahead and bounce back to the main camera here. So just a second. So yeah, so it kind of seems like you guys are kind of in agreement here. But essentially what I'm saying is that $600 additional that many people were getting for many people out there was far beyond what they were actually receiving in their regular jobs. And so this was giving people actually more disposable income. Now, if you know anything about the spending habits of really America in general, we don't always put extra money to good use. Now, not to say that Pokemon isn't good use, but there was a lot of extra income out there that was being, in my opinion, I think it was being put towards some of these other alternative assets, and Pokemon being one of them. And especially around a time that the stock market, the bond market was getting hit really hard, I think on one hand, you had people that were using that income to go out and buy cards just for strictly enjoyment purposes. But on the other hand, I think you had a lot of people who were, looking at the stock market. They were looking at the other markets in general. They were seeing them going down, and they started looking at themselves, saying to themselves, hey, there's another alternative asset out here, that being collectibles and specifically Pokemon cards, that I may potentially be able to put my money towards and see that be able to grow. But now that we haven't had that second stimulus package, which to my knowledge, the government is still in talks about that, whether it'll actually happen is to be seen, but there's not the same amount of money that is being pumped back into the economy. So I think that's why you're seeing that sales count go down. And in my opinion, unless we have another stimulus package, and I'm speaking strictly from, the United States standpoint. I'm not sure how, other countries, those of you joining us from, around the world, from other countries out there, I'm not sure that this necessarily is indicative to you guys. But at least here in the States, I think that's why you're seeing that overall sales count go down. And I think that's why we're seeing that. But at the same time, the actual value of product being sold has remained relatively stable. And so I think that's what we want to see. If the sales count goes down, that just means that there's not as many people out there that are willing to buy those products. And at the same time, the market is just going up and up and up. Products are becoming more and more expensive. And so, it's really pricing a lot more people out of the market, at least from a vintage standpoint. There's still a lot of products out there that are very affordable. And if you guys watch any of my series on undervalued Pokemon cards, you'll know that there's a lot of products that are still out there that are very much affordable for the average collector, average investor. It just takes a little bit more work. Everybody knows that a base set Charizard is valuable. But, that's where most people migrate to. Most people will follow the zeitgeist, if you will. They'll follow what is put out there the most. But, for the rest of you, there's still a lot of opportunities to be had. A lot of opportunities to be had in products that many people are simply overlooking. So yeah, that's my take on that. I've been getting a lot of screenshots and a lot of DMs sent to me saying, hey, PokéNav, what do you think about this, man? Like, this is a pretty sharp decrease in sales volume. Do you think this is the start of a crash? And I don't. I think if we do get another stimulus package, you're going to see that go right back up again. But as long as the value of cards being sold is staying relatively stable, I think that's ultimately what we want to see. But realistically, this all has to end at some point, guys. I mean, there's going to be a point where stimulus isn't there. People have to go back to work. Forbearance periods are going to run out on homes. And that's going to put a squeeze on a lot of people. And so to me, what I think, the overall end product is going to be, is that we're going to go back down. Let me go ahead and jump back to that graph here real quick. So what I think you're going to find in the end is, I think, because you'll see that, up until this year, up until January, we saw such a huge increase in sales volume, sales value for this year. And it really all started this year. And I truly believe that a lot of that spending has come around, people being at home more often, people having more time on their hands, and the majority of the population actually having more disposable income, even though we're at a position where the unemployment rate is still quite high. People are still able to make their payments, or at least were able to make their payments, and have more money left over to spend on, discretionary products like Pokemon cards. But ultimately, I think we're going to come back down to right around this point. Once it's all said and done, my guess is probably around this time next year, we're probably going to come back down to around where we were at in probably, I would say probably around November of last year. So I guess I can make my call now, and if I'm wrong, then you guys can give me the 30 lashings that I deserve, or whatever my punishment will be. But I truly think so. I think we're going to come right back down to around this area, around this time next year. But we'll see. I guess that we'll have to wait and see on that. So let me go ahead and see what everybody is talking about here in the chat. See if anybody agrees, disagrees. Let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, the Mike side says there's Poke Fever too. Definitely a lot of Poke Fever out there. Let's see what else we got. Polish Rob in the house. So you guys gotta give my boy Polish Rob a lot of thumbs up. Go ahead and hit those celebration emojis in the live chat. My boy Polish Rob just hit 1,000 subscribers on his channel. If you guys aren't subscribed to him yet, definitely go ahead and do so. We had a fun pack battle here. Gosh, it was probably a couple months ago. But yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. My previous experience with pack battles didn't go so well, so I had to enforce the or enlist rather the help of some of my other family members to give me that good luck, and it did so. I guess I was able to come out on top against Polish Rob, but I don't know if I want to go 2 out of 3 with Rob, because just judging by the videos he's had recently, he's kind of been on fire. So I don't know if I want to take that on. But yeah, hey, no problem, Rob. He's a good guy, really good guy. And that's the other thing, I want to make mention here today is I'm so thankful to be a part of this community. There's just so many good-hearted, kind people a part of the Pokemon community, especially the Pokemon card community. And it's just a pleasure to be a part of that, and pleasure to get to know a lot of people like Rob, like Jules, Vintage Pokemon Hunter Brothers. Did a pack battle with them, and just looking forward to getting to know all of you guys, getting to know more people in the community. So let's go ahead and jump back into some of these questions here that people got going in. Let's see. I'm going to scroll back up into the chat because I know I probably missed a bunch of questions going through that chart. But while I'm looking at that, well, hold on. I got to go ahead and give my sister a shout out here. My little sis, she's showing up in the live chat, so I got to give her a little love here. So Shay Webster in the live chat. That's the little sis. Got to show her some love. So you guys go ahead and give her some heart emojis in there. Give Miss PokéNav some love in there. I guess I don't know if I should call her Miss PokéNav though. I guess I should call my wife Miss PokéNav. I guess that's kind of weird. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Let's see what kind of questions we got coming in. Oh, so yeah, let's go ahead and get into those Hidden Fates ETBs. Now, I've heard a lot of things on it. I have not seen anything that necessarily tells me that it is a for sure thing. I've seen it on a lot of websites, but for me, I typically like to wait until I see like full on confirmation from like Pokemon itself. Play Pokemon. Another great resource is PokeBeach. If you guys don't know about PokeBeach, really great website. That's where I go for all of my Pokemon news episodes. That's where I do a lot of my research on new products coming out. And I haven't seen anything on PokeBeach, but maybe you guys... I do have a website here. I'll go ahead and jump to. I was doing a little research before we started, and this is what I found. So this is on totalcards.net. So it says they're coming back January 2021. So you can pre-order, and like it says here, we have some fantastic news for Pokemon fans. One of the most renowned and amazing products we have ever seen, Hidden Fates Elite Trainer Box, is getting a reprint. So this is showing it here in euros. Again, I don't know if this is maybe just strictly a European reprint or if this is going to be something for the rest of the world. I know, Rob, you just had a video on this the other night, and so maybe you might be able to fill us in a little bit more on that. But for me, like I said, I don't like to jump into it too quickly. But I haven't seen anything definitive from Pokemon. But maybe, like I said, maybe you guys have a little more information. Let's see if anybody knows for sure. Yeah. So like I said, guys, not too sure about the reprint, but should it come out? Should the reprint actually happen? This is my take on it. First of all, I never really expected that it would happen. I did not think that we would get a reprint of the Elite Trainer Box. And okay, here's the thing. So on one hand, it makes me kind of nervous. On the other hand, it makes me excited. So it makes me nervous because it starts to make me think, are there any products out there that are actually safe? You know, we used to think that like the Elite Trainer boxes were safe from getting reprints. But if this is actually the case, then that kind of throws that sentiment right out the window. On the other hand, I look at it and I say to myself, okay, we've had 3 reprints now of the Hidden Fates tins, and they've just gone up in value. And we just got the other ones dropping here. In fact, I'm probably going to be headed up north this weekend, and my guy up north, local card game shop that I work with, he's got them waiting for me. And luckily, I'm able to get them at MSRP. But looking out on the secondary market, the tins have just gone up and up and up in price, even with 3 reprints. So it makes me think that even if we do get a reprint of the Elite Trainer boxes, I still, just based upon the past experience with the tins, it makes me think that the value of those Elite Trainer boxes will still hold. Now, we might see a little bit of a decrease in price, at least in the short term, when they're released, if they're released. Okay, so it looks like Lucky Luke 777 says it's confirmed in Europe. Online stores are selling it in UK and Germany. So it looks like Europe, looks like it is confirmed, or at least according to what we have here. But like I said, I haven't seen anything confirmed yet for at least the United States or North America in general. But yeah, like I said, guys, I mean, if we do get that, if the tins are any indication, then we'll probably see a slight decrease in price when the Elite Trainer box is released. But then after that, I think over the long term, and you guys know, I talk about it all the time. When we're talking about investing in Pokemon cards, for me, a lot of my strategy is long term. So short term, at least in the financial world, is any investment held for 5 years or less. So beyond that, 5 years or more is a long term investment. And so I think with a lot of these products, especially modern, ultra modern, these are things that you guys definitely want to hold on to for the long term. So even if we do have a reprint, you know, let's say 10, 15, 20 years from now, as long as Pokemon is still a viable business entity, it may not make that much of a difference in the long run. If we do have these reprints, if we do get a few more of these products down the line, because in the end, it really boils down to who's got the strong hands, who can keep those products sealed. It's one of the reasons why the higher end products that I have, I keep in safe deposit boxes, because I know if I've got them around for too long, that temptation to open those products is just, it's almost overwhelming. And I think it's because, you know, even though a lot of us are investors and we enjoy the business aspect of Pokemon cards and investing in Pokemon cards, I feel like we're all collectors at heart. And it's just so hard to not want to have that chase of opening those packs, opening those booster boxes, or in this case, elite trainer boxes. So I think over the long term, I think that, whether we have these reprints, how many of them we have, I think over the long term, it probably won't make a whole lot of difference. But like I said, in the end, it just kind of boils down to, is Pokemon going to be around in 20 years? Are people still going to have interest in it? I certainly think so. And, my sentiment on that is, we've got a lot of my generation who are now at the point where, we've got the disposable income and different means of buying these products. And now we're also passing on that passion to our kids as well. So I think that it's going to last for quite a few generations from here to come. So that's just kind of my take on Hidden Fates on the Elite Trainer boxes. I'll definitely keep an eye out to see what is going on with those. I'm sure all of you will as well. And we'll just kind of see. How many they're going to reprint. I know, like with the 10s, there wasn't many that were reprinted. So if we do get these Elite Trainer boxes, then chances are it's probably going to be in a very limited quantity. So that's just kind of my take on it. Let's see what else we got going on here in the chat. Got to get hydrated. So a couple people saying that ETB reprint is coming in January 31st in Europe, which may be a good thing because I might be over there that time next year. I'm really, really considering, barring that, we can actually travel freely next year. I'm really, really considering making it to Worlds in London. So might have to look into that a little bit further. So let's see what else we got going on here. Tom Rawson, any other alternatives to Pokemon cards which you are interested in collecting? Thank you for this question. So I love Pokemon cards, and I started collecting, 1999 to really through like Gym Heroes, Gym Challenge, Neo, that whole era. But one of my other TCGs that I loved growing up, and maybe you guys remember this, were the old Dragon Ball Z cards. They were made by Score Entertainment. And I'll be honest with you guys, I probably have more of those Dragon Ball Z cards from my childhood than I do Pokemon cards, to be honest with you. I mean, it was right around, I want to say they released right around like 2001, 2002, and they would go by the sagas. If any of you out there are familiar with Dragon Ball Z, they would go by the various sagas. So Saiyan Saga, Frieza Saga, Cell Saga, all the way through. And I love those Dragon Ball Z cards, and man, they've done nothing but sit in binders for the last however long, 17, 18 years. And they're in great condition. The problem with that, with these Dragon Ball Z cards, is that Score basically went under. So the company is no longer around. And to my knowledge, grading companies out there like PSA, Beckett, CGC, they won't grade these cards because they can't verify them, because the company that created them is no longer around. Even though, like, let's say in the case of Pokemon, those vintage cards, even though Wizards of the Coast isn't making those anymore. That company is still around, whereas Score, they're not around anymore. So to my knowledge, you can't actually have those cards graded because those companies can't verify them. But in my opinion, if there comes a day where all of these grading companies are able to verify those Dragon Ball Z cards and you can get those graded, I think those are going to be an awesome investment to have, because I remember around that same time, and maybe you guys do too, those were almost as big. Well, maybe not as big, but they were pretty big. Pokemon was kind of starting to die out a little bit right around 2003, and that's when those cards really started to pick up. And I know, for me, a lot of my friends during that time, that was what we all migrated to, were those Dragon Ball Z cards. And especially, guys, if you can pick up sealed products, I know PokéRev's a big fan of those as well. He's got the sealed booster boxes. They also had theme decks. Those might be a good investment as well. And that's actually something that I've been looking into. But the problem with it, like I said, we just don't have any type of verification out there to verify those products. So, but yeah, that's something that I would recommend. Obviously, Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not real familiar with really any other TCGs outside of Pokemon, but I know Yu-Gi-Oh's big, Magic the Gathering is big, and especially the further back that you go, it's same thing with Pokemon. The further back that you go with those brands, the more expensive that they are. So, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, I think those are probably good options as well, but I'm not the person to give you advice in that particular area. There are a lot of other channels out there that do specialize in more of those areas. So I would go ahead and check out places like Alpha Investments. I know he talks a lot about Magic the Gathering, but I'm not really familiar with any good Yu-Gi-Oh sources out there. But yeah, keep an eye out on those Dragon Ball Z cards, guys. Keep an eye out on those, because I think over the next 5 years or so, if we can just find a way to get those verified, I think you're going to find that those are a really nice investment. So let's see what else we got going on here in the chat. So Miguel Casanovas Catone, he says, I tried to keep Hidden Fates tins sealed, and after 10 days, they were all open. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. It's so hard to keep products sealed. Like I said, I don't keep a whole lot here at my house. Any high-end stuff, I keep in safe deposit boxes because it's just so hard to try to keep your hands off of those. Let's see what else we got. Polish Rob says, hydrate. I got it, man. Got my Yeti. Staying nice and hydrated. Got to. I even got a little bit of electrolytes in there. Got to get all those micronutrients in. So let's see. December in USA, I'm 90% sure. So Polish Rob saying December in the US. He's about 90% sure we're going to get that Hidden Fates ETB. Woo! I tell you what, man, if we get a reprint of those Hidden Fates ETBs by the end of the year, man, that is going to be a banner year for Pokemon. That's a lot of great products in 1 year. And man, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a great Christmas season. I can tell you that much. I know what I'm asking from Santa Claus. Santa Claus, come on now. I know we got those scalpers out there, but I've been really good this year, and I'm hoping for a Hidden Fates ETB. I'm putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see. So Frank Rodriguez, buying packs versus singles for Champion's Path. It seems buying after a certain amount of packs would be better. Yeah, with the Champion's Path, it's tough with these sets that don't have booster boxes, because you definitely have to spend more money to try to garner more packs. I mean, what in a ETB, I think there's 10 packs, so you're purchasing Basically, you're going to have to get 4 ETBs to try to get the same amount of packs that you would in a booster box. But yeah, I mean, you might want to see if there's single packs being sold out there. It might be something that you can look for. I think that's what you're asking here. I'm not really, or maybe you're talking about single cards. Yeah, I mean, you can always go down the route of just buying single cards, especially guys, if you're a collector and you're just trying to complete a master set. Chances are you're probably going to save money if you just go out and buy the single cards rather than buying more and more packs trying to complete that. So that's certainly an option, but it's really everyone's preference, especially from a collecting perspective. A lot of the enticement of it is the chase. So yeah, you can go out, you can buy those cards, you can probably save money, but it also mitigates the chase itself. So I guess that's all up to your preference. Let's see what else we got. Is Vivid Voltage going to be a big hit? I think Vivid Voltage is going to be a good set. We do have the Amazing Rares in there, which is going to be a new type of card. So that'll be something to look forward to. I think overall, the set is probably on par, in my opinion, with probably a Darkness Ablaze. I know Darkness Ablaze did have the Charizards, but there's nothing really that terribly stands out to me in Vivid Voltage. But I think overall it's a pretty well put together set. I do like the Pikachus in there. It's always good to have Pikachu, in my opinion. You got the V and the VMAX Pikachus, chubby Pikachus nonetheless, which I'm very happy about. So I think overall it's going to be a pretty decent set. I don't think that you're going to have the same kind of issues of getting Vivid Voltage products that you have with Champion's Path. You throw a Charizard in there, and no pun intended, but the set is fire. The set is fire, and it is tough to get. And other circumstances going on right now have only exacerbated that. I've talked about it in in a previous video that with the lack of supply out there, just from the lack of workforce this year, on top of scalpers, and even online, you've got bots now that are going in and buying up product when it's released. There's a lot of things, working against you guys, and I recognize that. But it's a popular set. It's a really popular set. You've got 2 big chase cards in there that are going for good money, and that's going to draw a lot of attention. Vivid Voltage, I don't think it's going to have the same kind of notoriety. So I don't think it's going to have the same kind of difficulty in garnering that. But it's going to be right around the holidays too. So it's going to be releasing on November 13th, I believe. So again, closer we get to the holidays, the more products in general are going to be getting bought up. So that may lend to maybe a little less supply there, as people are buying that for the holidays, for Christmas, things like that. But I think overall, Vivid Voltage, pretty decent set. But yeah, I think you'll probably be able to get your hands on it fairly easily. From a long-term investing perspective, I don't know. Like I said, I would probably put it more on par with maybe a Rebel Clash type of set. It does have the Amazing Rares going for it, like I said. But, I just think over the long term, maybe, one thing that I always tell people is, if you're debating on should I open it, should I keep it sealed, should I hold it for the long term, should I open it up and try to sell the cards? Here's the thing: if you've got the financial means to do so, buy 2. Let's say a booster box. Buy 2 booster boxes of Vivid Voltage, open one, keep one sealed. If you want to open one and add it to your collection, or create a master set, go ahead and do that. And or keep the other one sealed, and then you got options down the line. See where it goes. With sealed booster boxes, you've got various options. You can keep it sealed, just let it grow over time, sell it sometime in the future. You can open it up, you can sell individual booster packs, or you can break open those booster packs and you can sell individual cards. So that's why I'm a big fan of booster boxes because it does give you a lot of different options. And Team Trubbish is saying to keep quiet on Vivid Voltage because he says it's all his. He wants to keep that hype down. I don't blame you, brother. I don't blame you. You know, the hype is a dangerous thing. It can be a dangerous thing. All right, let's see. Frank Rodriguez making a good point here. It says it seems to be overshadowed by Shiny Star V. And Polish Rob, hey man, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much for that super chat. Polish Rob saying, quality information, everyone. Let's see some super chats for this man's time and research. Hey, I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so much. And again, thank you to everyone that's joining in tonight. Make sure you guys give Polish Rob a lot of love. And go subscribe to his channel. You know, just hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. That's a big milestone, I think, for anybody going through this endeavor of being a YouTuber and a content creator. And you know, he's just an all-around really good guy. And I really think you guys will enjoy his content as well. But Polish Rob, thank you so much, buddy. But getting back to what I was saying before, Frank Rodriguez makes a good point here. He says Vivid Voltage seems to be overshadowed by the Shiny Star V set from Japan already. And yeah, man, I would probably agree with that as well. You know, Shiny Star V, for those of you that don't know, this is going to be the November set releasing in Japan. And the Shiny Charizard V that we got for Champion's Path more than likely is coming from this Shiny Star V set that's releasing in Japan. And on top of that, the Shiny Star V is more than likely going to be the main candidate for our 25th anniversary set that we're going to be getting in February of next year. And we've gotten some information about that. It's trickled in through PokeBeach. I read about that last time in my news episode. But it's going to be a big set, over 300 cards, 127 shinies. 127 shinies, and then another 190 cards on top of that. So I think that's going to be a really awesome set there. And I talked about it last time. So if you guys like a shiny Charizard V and you guys like a Rainbow Rare Charizard VMAX, well, they just went ahead and mashed them together. And now we've got basically a Rainbow VMAX shiny Charizard. I don't know what you want to call it, but they basically brought the two together. And this is something that they're going to put in Shiny Star V, and more than likely our 25th anniversary set. And then also coming here from Bad Haven, we've got another super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that. Bad Haven 22, just because he loves the content. Well, hey man, I really appreciate that. And you have been around for a long time. I want to say you were definitely under the 1,000 subscriber, but you've been around for quite some time. And I see you around on the other channels as well. Sometimes I'll see you in that chat with PokéRev or just on other channels, SM Pratt, some of the other investing channels. So I'm really happy to have you here, man, and I'm glad to hear that I'm providing you good content. Thank you so much for that super chat. All right, so let's see what else we got going on here. So like I was saying before, 25th anniversary set I think is going to be pretty awesome. There we go. I think it's going to be awesome. Like the Shiny Star V set is more than likely going to be our best candidate for that. So if it is, and we get that Charizard again, it is going to be a great way to start out the year. But it's actually the first time, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's the first time that we haven't started out the year with a mainline set. So the 25th anniversary set right now, the code name on it is 4.5, which indicates that it's going to be basically I don't know if you call it a subset, but just kind of I guess subset is probably the best word for it. It's just not one of those mainline sets like this year. Our mainline sets Sword and Shield base set, Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze, but then like Champion's Path, that's a kind of a subset or a special set that is released, and that's what the 25th anniversary is going to be as well. Fleck Aziz, he's already bought a case of Vivid Voltage. Might be a good idea, man. Might be a good idea. Like I was saying last time, if you guys have the opportunity for pre-orders, that's probably your best way to go, is to get those pre-orders. A lot of the time you can get discounts on those. So pre-orders, I think, is a great way to go. So not a bad idea. Hey, Wandering Music, thank you very much, my friend. I really appreciate that. It says, big fan, Evolutions booster box, 5 to 10 years out. Whew, so that is tough to say. You know, I caught, when I first started on YouTube, my very first video was about Evolutions. You guys can go back, you can check that out. It was all about Evolutions. And I caught so much flack for Evolutions, and people were saying that set it will never go anywhere. It stayed the same for the last, the last 4 years, hasn't gone anywhere. And now, if you look online, Evolutions booster boxes going for, last I checked, about $140 to $160, and that's on eBay. If you go on to some of these third-party distributors, you go to DACA World, you go to TCG Player, you go to any of these other third-party sites, they're even more than that. Some of them pushing $170, and to me, that's a sign of healthy growth here. It's a sign that it's steadily going up, and you're not seeing just this massive rise. Something like we saw with Unbroken Bonds Team Up, we saw this huge increase in price, and then obviously Pokemon confirmed those reprints, and then the price went back down. So I think that it's healthy. And if you go back in time and you look at the original base set, then you see that it took the original base set, it sat at its MSRP around $100. It sat there for years, for 4, 5, 6 years before it actually started going up. So it's I think that Evolutions is, the signs that we're seeing from it is a healthy sign that it's going up incrementally. Who knows? Maybe I've contributed to that. I don't know. But it just has all of the hallmarks of a good set to me. You've got that nostalgia with the price of base set going up and up and up. A lot of people are turning to that because it gives them that same nostalgic feeling, but at a fraction of the cost. And then on top of that, even it being, we'll call it $150, you still have several chase cards in there that are going for good money, especially those Charizards. In PSA 10s going for well over $100. Even in PSA 9s reaching around that $100 mark. And and then you've got things like Surfing Pikachu, Flying Pikachu, right around that $100 mark. You've got Dragonite in there. A lot of cards that go right for around that $100 mark, and the pull rates on Evolutions is quite good as well. So it's I think all in all, it's going to be a good set. So again, thank you so much for that. Wandering Music, appreciate that super chat, and hopefully that kind of answers your questions. I think that 5 to 10 years from now, I think that Evolutions is going to be a great set that we're going to look back on, and I think many people are probably going to regret that they didn't pick it up back in the day. So, but yeah, you never know, but that's just kind of my take on it. So let's see what else we've got going on here. So yeah, it looks like people are saying, Logan Paul, looks like he's going to be starting his live chat here at 6 p.m. Is that right, guys? Is he going to be starting here at 6? You guys just give me a verification here in the live chat. Let's see. Sounding like it is. Oh, Young Quizzy. Hey, thank you for that, my friend. Thank you for that super chat. It says, most valuable card you have. So this is a thing I always like to talk about with people is like most rare, most valuable. The most valuable card that I have is a first edition Neo Shining Mewtwo. And that's also my favorite card as well, my favorite Pokemon of all time. I love that. And this is just in my personal collection. But yeah, to my knowledge, it's the first edition Shining Mewtwo. But like I said, I don't show my collection off ever, really. I've talked about it before. I'm not the type to try to flaunt things in front of you guys. As time goes on, I may start to pull things out little by little and maybe display them a little more. But for me, I'm just the type that I want to sit back, want to provide you guys with good knowledge. I'm all about, being humble. And, I don't always necessarily agree with just showing off a bunch of expensive product. And, because for me, I got into it at a good time. That's the thing. A lot of people don't admit that, is that, for many investors and collectors that got into it, 2015, 2016, around the same time as myself, prices were a lot less back then. And, I was just fortunate. I was fortunate that I found it around that time, and I was able to get in. But yeah, that's my most valuable card, first edition Shining Mewtwo, and my favorite Pokemon of all time as well. So it's also my most valuable, both from a monetary perspective, but then also from a, emotional perspective as well. But hey, thank you so much for that, my friend. Pika's Price. Hey, thank you so much for that super chat. Double slap and thunder punch. That's right, guys. I gotta ask you a favor. Go ahead and do me a favor. Give me that double slap attack. One for that like button, one for that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified each and every time one of these videos drops, go ahead and thunder punch that notification bell so that you don't miss a single video. Yeah, as you can tell, I've said it quite a bit. I got it down now. I think I can pretty much recite it in my sleep at this point. But I'm going to go ahead and bring down these lights a little bit. It is getting really bright. Let me go ahead and bring that down. There we go. Okay. But hey, Pika's Price, thank you so much for that, my friend. I really appreciate that. All of you that are providing these super chats, and whether you are or not, guys, I just appreciate you being here. I think at one point we had over 200 people in the live chat, and I just can't appreciate. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you. It's without you guys, never would have gotten to this point. And all of the content that I put out, I do it strictly from the sense of trying to help you guys. When I first started, like I've said before, I didn't have resources to go to try to find information. And so I really want to kind of be that place that you guys can go to find, information that ultimately helps you, whether you're an investor or collector. Ultimately, my goal is to try to help you guys out as much as I can. And, hopefully I'm doing a good job at that. I never claim that I know everything or that I should be your final end all be all for information. But I think I do have some knowledge to share. And I just can't thank you enough, guys. But it looks like Logan Paul has started his live stream, guys. I know a lot of you are probably really excited to see that. I'm excited to see it as well. So I will go ahead and let you guys all go here. Let me see if there's any last quick questions that I can answer, and then we will go ahead and sign off here. Let's see. Is Burning Shadows still worth it? I think Burning Shadows is still a good set to invest in at this point. It's got a good overall card set. Obviously, you've got that Charizard in there as well, and it was a massively popular set when it came out. So I think it definitely has all of those things going for it. So I think in the long term, Burning Shadows, especially from a modern standpoint, I think is a good investable product as well. And yeah, so it looks like that is about it, guys. If I didn't get to your questions, I do apologize. If you have further questions that you want answered, feel free to send me a DM over on Instagram, Pokemon_navigator over on Instagram. You can also send me an email, pokenav27@gmail.com. I'll try to answer as many questions there as I can as well. But guys, thank you again so much for being here tonight. Go ahead and go enjoy Logan Paul's opening of that first edition base set booster box, and I'll probably see you guys over there as well. Other than that, guys, my name is PokeNav. I'm here to help you navigate the world of Pokemon one video at a time, and I will see you all